For more on this one, Supreme Court leak, this big story today, we welcome to the show former independent counsel Ken Starr. Ken, it's always great to see you. And I want to start with the leak aspect of this. The Democrats are not, up in arms about right now. You clerked for Chief Justice Warren Burger. Your thoughts on how this impacts the integrity of the Supreme Court? You actually were in there. You read these opinions. And I imagine that there's a sense of responsibility, almost an implied oath that you take to work there to protect the integrity of the court. That was breached today.
That's exactly right, Jackie. When you are an employee at the clerk, at the court, especially law clerks, you're at the elbow of the justice or the chief justice, and you know that confidentiality is the coin of the realm. You know that it's unthinkable, it's inconceivable that you would go and share this information, a full draft opinion with the outside world, even with a close friend, even with a family member. So we have now done that which is truly unprecedented and which was unthinkable. A terrible breach. It's very good that the Chief Justice has announced an investigation. I personally think that we should look as to whether this was a crime or not. I know most people are dismissing it and saying it's just a breach of ethics, but it is also the appropriation of government property, a very valuable piece of government property. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying let's take a look at it.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, and I don't dismiss that at all. And I've heard many people discussing this issue today, and there were several theories on it, that perhaps through this investigation under oath, many of these clerks and the office staff are going to be questioned. Maybe somebody would lie about this, and that's the way this goes. That becomes a crime, or potentially, as you said, this is, a piece of government information. Your thoughts on if there will be criminal liability here?
It's just too soon to tell. I'm just saying it should be looked at very carefully because it is impossible, I think, to exaggerate the dangers of this and the damage that this has done to the integrity of the court. What happened to that bond of trust? And it is certainly severely eroded.
Right.
But I think there's an irrevocable injury that was really a terrible day and a terrible chapter for the court.
And what is so important about that process and the confidentiality, of course, is that these justices can go back and forth. They can write their opinions. They can review them. They can have a discourse about such an important issue over the matter of months or a year or however long it takes until they can come to the final decision that they come to, which we don't even know. And I question the timing of this leak as trying to almost have an influence on that potentially. But I think the justices probably, will hold to their original opinions. Having said that, the Democrats are not focusing on the leak aspect. They instead are focusing on the potential to overturn Roe v. Wade. And what Alito essentially was saying in his opinion, but you know more than I do, is essentially that abortion isn't a constitutional issue. This was completely decided wrong at the get-go, and that this should not be about, choosing whether abortion is alive or well in this country. It's an issue that should be decided by the states.
It's we the people. This is actually a very important sounding board for democracy. And yes, so when Democrats and anyone else are saying, let's have a debate about this, it's exactly right. That's what the opinion, the draft opinion, it is just a draft, but it's a draft opinion that essentially announces a restoration of democracy, that it's we the people, not we the judges. And we the people decide all manner of very sensitive, important policy questions. I do want to say that those who are saying this signals a retreat from all kinds of rights, such as the right who you'll marry and so forth, they haven't read the opinion or they're ignoring the opinion. This is limited to the uniqueness of abortion and the ending of what the court itself has called potential life.
Yeah, and I think you're referring to the president there in that soundbite that Peter Doocy played for us. He called it a radical decision and essentially said that it was opening up all of these matters of our private lives in a certain way, which isn't necessarily true. Having said that, Fox News contributor Ari Fleischer, he warned that the leak is concerning for the Supreme Court, essentially raising this integrity issue. I want you to watch this.
What really troubles me, not about the ruling itself, if that's the ruling itself, I accept and respect that ruling, but the leaker. Make no mistake, Sean, this is an insurrection against the Supreme Court. I've already seen people on the left celebrating this leaker, calling him brave, trying to throw a Hail Mary to stop the ruling from being issued. Who at the Supreme Court will trust each other now if they know that their drafts are going to be leaked, just like everything else in Washington? The Supreme Court seemed to be the last institution standing that had internal integrity.
So, Ken, where do we go from here? Because we have such debates, heated debates, and this country has become more divided than ever. If we can't necessarily trust an institution like the Supreme Court, I don't know. It's troubling.
It is extremely troubling, and that's why it has to be handled, and I think it will be, with great seriousness. Let's get to the bottom of it and take the appropriate punitive action. But Ari is exactly right. The Supreme Court has been a bastion of integrity. This is an assault on it.
It's always great to see you, to get your insight, your perspective. Ken Starr, have a wonderful night.
Thanks, Jackie.
Okay.